Hi, it's Therese in Lostinpaper and I'm back with my Card for Men series, and this time I'm using images and I want to do a repeated image. And I thought this little cute dog from this Double Trouble set, which is a Jane's Doodles stamp set, would be a fun image to use on a men's card. And I want to repeatedly stamp this in lines horizontally and vertically, and one of the easiest ways I find to do this is to use my Fiskars stamp press. Because it's already got the grid lines imprinted on the actual plastic, I can line them up each time that I'm stamping and make sure that all my images are lined up perfectly. And I'll show you how I do that shortly. So I just started off by using the outside grid line on the stamp press with the outside line of my white paper. And I'm using some Ranger dye ink pads today, and that orangey colour is called Cheese Puff. And the green I'm using is called Lily Pad. And because I'm changing my inks each time, the ink colours each time, I am washing it really well, the stamp really well in between, so I don't cross-contaminate. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually lining the bottom of my grid line, and on the left I'm taking note of where that actual grid line is on the image, so that each time I stamp the dog, it's going to be the same width away from the dog to the left of it. I'll show you again what I mean in a minute. So my third image, I'm using the Caribbean Coast colour. This is a really pretty blue. And again, I'm just lining up the grid line with the left, and I'm taking note of where the bottom grid line is. It's running along the eyes of the dog, so that's going to make it really easy for me to line up each time. And back to the Cheese Puff colour. And this time I've got no edge of my cardstock to go with, so I've got the left grid line, which is along the ear of the dog, and the bottom grid line, which is along the eyes of the dogs below. So can you see how I'm sort of working it out each time? I'm just sticking to the same landmarks each time I stamp. My final colour is called Java Bean, which is a really nice dark brown colour. I just love the way these inks stamp. They're really nice bright colours too, and they've had a new release of some colours, so I'm so excited. I can't wait to get some of those. So I'm just going to finish stamping out the card. Each time I'm doing the same thing, looking at where my grid line is on the left along the ear of the dog, and the bottom grid line along the eyes of the dog, and just working my way right up to the very top corner and kind of mixing up my colours as well, so there's no two that are touching beside each other. Just use my trimmer to cut it down, and then I'm going to work on my sentiment. This is a Simon Says stamp set called Naughty Nautical, and I'm going to stamp out this fun speech bubble, which is a really funky odd shaped speech bubble, and I'm actually going to stamp that out a couple of times just in case I make a mistake, or if one stamps out. I think the second one actually stamped out better than the first one anyway, so I'll probably just use that one. And so once this is dry, I can stamp my sentiment inside, which is from the same Naughty Nautical set. I thought it'd be fun to stamp the R. And then well, I suppose it's a swear word. And some people do swear when they have birthdays, I'm sure of it. I know they're not my favourite thing. So I'm just going to quickly cut this out, leaving a small white border. And then I can start assembling my card. So I've added some fun foam. It's a nice bright orange to the back of my panel, and I'm going to use some score tape to pop that up on the front of a top fold card. So it's a nice clean and simple design. That's what I like to do for men's cards, and some nice bright colours. And then my last thing I need to do is just add the speech bubble, and I'm using some black mounting foam to do that. And that's pretty much it for my card today. So thanks for joining me. I've had heaps of fun. I'm going to be back again real soon. So till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.